Flying out of the US with a green card? One small mistake could cost you everything. In this video, we're exposing the silent risks that green card holders face when traveling abroad and how to avoid losing your permanent residency at the airport. You're watching Buzzrica, your go-to source for fast, clear, and reliable US immigration news. Subscribe now to stay one step ahead. Let's get into what every green card holder needs to know before booking that flight. Why leaving the US can put your green card at risk. It doesn't matter if you've lived in the US for years. If you spend too much time overseas without the right documents, Customs and Border Protection (CBP) can treat you like a stranger and even ask you to hand over your green card at the airport. Seriously, one long trip, no paperwork, and you're at risk of being denied re-entry. This happens more often than you think. What's a re-entry permit and why it matters? Think of a re-entry permit as travel insurance for your green card. It's not a passport, but it proves you plan to return and keep your US residency. It looks like a small passport booklet. It tells immigration, I'm still a US resident, just traveling for a while. Without it, long stays abroad can be seen as abandoning your green card. And yes, abandoning residency is a real legal term. It's enough to lose your green card permanently. And do you need a re-entry permit? Here's a quick cheat sheet. Trips under 6 months, no permit required, but keep strong US ties, home address, job, taxes. 6 to 12 months. A permit is recommended. It helps show your intent to return. Over 12 months. A permit is required. No permit equals high risk of losing your status. Over 2 years abroad. A re-entry permit won't help. You'll need a special returning resident visa, SB1, from a US embassy. Bonus tip, you can't apply for the permit from outside the US. You must be physically in the country to file. How to apply for a re-entry permit step by step. Here's the process, simplified. File Form I-131, application for travel document. Pay the fee, currently $575 plus $85 for biometrics. Go to your biometrics appointment. Fingerprints and photo required. Request overseas delivery if you're leaving shortly after biometrics. Wait for approval. Processing times vary, so don't wait until the last minute. Important. You must stay in the US until your biometrics are done. If you leave early, your whole application could be denied. If this video is helping you plan your travel, hit that like button and subscribe. Buzzrica breaks down immigration news like no one else. Fast, simple, and on your side. How to use the re-entry permit when returning. When you fly back, show these 3 things: your green card, your passport, your re-entry permit. CBP officers will review everything. The permit tells them, I haven't abandoned my US residency. But, and this is key, it's not a guarantee. If they believe you've moved your life abroad, they can still deny entry or pressure you to surrender your green card on the spot. What happens if you don't have one? Here's where it gets scary. Some green card holders returning from overseas have been detained, questioned for hours, asked to sign a form giving up their green card. Even trips under 12 months have triggered this, especially if the person had no US job, address, or bank account. Real example, a man from New York was almost deported after a 3-month business trip to Jamaica. CBP didn't believe he still lived in the US. He fought back and got in, but others weren't so lucky. Another case in 2024 involved a California woman who had expunged drug charges. She flew home from Dublin and got detained for a week, all because CBP flagged her record during re-entry. Other hidden risks: citizenship delays plus legal trouble. Staying abroad too long doesn't just threaten your green card. It can also ruin your chances of becoming a US citizen. Most green card holders must live in the US for 5 years. At least 913 days of that must be physical presence. A trip over 6 months can reset your entire timeline. And don't forget, even minor or old criminal records can trigger extra screenings, delays, or flat-out denials, especially under current enforcement. Why this matters more now: Trump's immigration crackdown. Under the Trump administration, immigration enforcement is getting tougher, even for green card holders. The New York Times reports a spike in CBP questioning, detentions, and even deportations. Social media screening is now routine. Global entry helps, but it's not a shield. And yes, even allies like Germany have issued travel warnings about the US. This isn't fear-mongering. It's the new reality for travelers. Tips to protect your green card while abroad. Here's what immigration lawyers are telling their clients in 2025. Apply for a re-entry permit if traveling for 6+ months. Keep US ties strong. Address, job, taxes, bank account. Carry your Form I-131 receipt if the permit hasn't arrived yet. Avoid any criminal charges, even misdemeanors. Consider global entry for faster airport processing. Don't sign anything at the airport without a lawyer, especially not a form to give up your green card. Can you renew a re-entry permit? Sort of, but not really. Re-entry permits can't be extended. Once expired, you must file a new I-131, go through biometrics again, and surrender the old permit. If you've been outside the US for 4 of the last 5 years, you may only get a 1-year permit. Exceptions exist for US government workers, athletes, missionaries, people working for international organizations, and if you have a conditional green card, the permit won't go past your conditional period and could mess up your request to remove conditions. Final thoughts. A re-entry permit isn't just paperwork. It's your shield against losing your green card while abroad. And with stricter rules under Trump, the risk is higher than ever. So plan ahead. File while you're still inside the US. And always keep proof that your life is still rooted here. If you found this helpful, tap like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more fast, reliable immigration updates. Only on Buzzrica. Safe travels. And we'll see you in the next one.